Welcome to Creepypasta. Please like, share and subscribe. This will help us make more content for you. Thank you.
My best friend isn't the same. I know this sounds crazy, and trust me, I feel like I am going absolutely insane. But something has been going on with my best friend for months now, and it's been the most confusing experience. I stumbled across this subreddit last night, and was hoping someone could explain what's happening. For backstory, me and my best friend Lily have known each other since kindergarten. We grew apart for a couple years during high school, but reconnected when we lived in the same dorm in college. We also lived together for the last 2 years of college. All of this is to say I really know Lily. I pride myself in how well I know her. We've spent several nights staying up until 5 a.m. talking about absolutely everything, and I cannot for the life of me understand what's going on. In February, Lily got really sick, and for a couple weeks, we weren't sure if she was going to make it. I was absolutely worried sick and spent those weeks crying my eyes out, scared I would lose her. Long story short, she had emergency surgery, which saved her life. She got out of the hospital a week and a half later. Recovery was hard, but by late March, we were back to hanging out like normal. In early April, we were driving to the park, one of the only places we can go in quarantine, and listening to the radio, when a song by her favorite band came on. I turned it up because we've sung this song in the car dozens of times before, but she immediately changed the station, and said she hated that song. I asked what she was saying, and reminded her how this was her favorite band all throughout her adolescence, but she just stared at me confused, and said she had never heard of the band. I was obviously concerned by this and wondered if her surgery was causing her memory loss, so I brought it up to her parents, who were also extremely confused and said Lily had never talked about that band. Their posters covered her wall when she was younger. I remember it clear as day. There's no way all of them just forgot. A couple weeks later, she was sitting with my family and I outside, when she asked me where my brother was. I told her I wasn't sure what she meant, because my brother had died 3 years ago in a car accident. She got upset and accused me of tricking her, asking why I would lie about such a horrible thing. I repeated that he died and that she needed to stop, because bringing him up out of the blue really upset all of us. It ended with her storming out of the house and us not talking for a couple days, until she called me to apologize. I insisted that he had died and said I would never lie about something like that, and she got really sad and started crying. That was the end of it. But just yesterday, the weirdest thing happened. I was out grocery shopping with her, when we saw her ex-boyfriend. He was extremely abusive towards her, and my friends and I all despise him, and try to keep him away from her as much as we can. When I saw him, I attempted to distract her from the situation and slyly lead her away, but she didn't seem fazed and looked in his direction, saying he was cute. She asked me if she should go up to him and ask him out, and I looked at her like she was absolutely crazy. I told her not to, not even bothering to bring up that he was her ex, because at this point she was starting to really scare me. I texted our mutual friends and asked if they remembered him, and they all did, so I know I'm not making it up. Usually, her ex would try to come up to her and intimidate her, or come on to her or something, but he just walked by us and gave us that friendly stranger nod. I am so confused. I feel so crazy. Someone please help me make sense of this. Edit. Thank you to everyone who has commented and given their advice/feedback. I saw some questions about the surgery, so I'll talk more about that. Lily had ulcerative colitis, and it suddenly got really severe, and started to infect her entire body. The surgery was to remove her colon, so very invasive but not neurological. Not sure if that has anything to do with memory loss. I really don't know much about medical stuff like that. The band is Bright Eyes. We were angsty and we always sang First Day of My Life to each other in the car when it came on. I'm 100% sure it was her ex, because he has a very distinct tattoo sleeve on his arm. So true that he might be hiding in the weeds, as an abuse tactic. It's just that he's never done that before, and it would be very out of character for him. He's a loud, angry guy and doesn't care about causing a scene. We've always thought he thrived on public drama. We grew apart for typical high school reasons. We had different things going on in our lives. I was cheerleading, she was on the debate team, dumb stuff like that, and just slowly stopped talking, but we never had any animosity, which is why it was so easy for us to pick up where we left off. My brother's death was an accident and was very traumatizing for all of us. We don't keep it a secret, but we aren't going on talking about him all the time because it's so upsetting, which might be why she couldn't remember if she has amnesia. But she's at our house often, and it was strange that it took a few weeks after her surgery to realize he wasn't there. As for medical attention, I called her parents and explained everything and how I was worried. Additional edit. They also brought up how she has claimed not to see movies they know they've watched with her and has asked about a sister that she doesn't have. They are definitely worried and are going to get her to the doctor. What's weird is they also don't remember her ex, and there's no way they wouldn't considering how often he stalked their house. So how do some people remember him clear as day and others don't?
Comments. I know the feeling. I've had falling outs with so many of my closest friends. People change with rapidity, but often I wondered if it's normal for someone's personality to change so much or if there are greater forces at play. One friend I had a particularly nasty falling out with, someone I was best friends with from 4th grade until my early 20s. I get the feeling things didn't happen as they should have, which is hard to explain. In my dreams we are still friends, or if we aren't getting along it feels very temporary and more like a minor disagreement, even 6 years after cutting ties with each other. But in real life, we are pretty much dead to each other. I can't explain this too well, but it just feels wrong to me. Not as in, a little off, but totally incorrect.
I understand all the comments about getting her medically checked out, of course. But, the boyfriend didn't recognize you guys. And the parents don't remember the boyfriend. But if had anything to do with changing timelines of something, it sounds like you died, because there are multiple people in your timeline that don't remember things. I see you don't believe in multiple timelines, but looks like you may be experiencing that. Whether you believe it or not. Wanted to explain this in a more logical way, but as I read on it, seems this is a more valid option. The concept of multiple timelines isn't actually even that unrealistic if you look into recent quantum physics findings.
Comments. Honestly, I agree with others. It seems like your friend needs medical attention immediately. There could be a clot of sorts, bleeding, something in the brain that's not supposed to be happening. It also could be physical trauma from being sick or surgery, or it could be psychological trauma. Not remembering an ex or someone who died years ago is troubling. The band that the parents don't remember could just be parents not remembering. I currently am as well, obsessed with the TV show Supernatural, which came out when I was in high school. Last year my mom discovered it on Netflix and swore up and down that she's never heard of it or knew I loved it. I mean, I had posters hung up in my room and would watch it on the living room TV with her. So parents not remembering could easily be explained. But your friend not remembering is very troubling. Please contact her family first and explain everything to them. Then all of you can talk to her together so she knows it's serious and that you are concerned and there for her. Gather as much evidence as you can for her and the doctors. You're an amazing friend, it's obvious you care for her very much. Keep supporting her and don't brush this off. Edit to add, maybe the ex-boyfriend just didn't want to talk to her. I know there's a few people that I've ran into and we both didn't stop and kept walking. But you and your friends remember, and I'm sure you can find pictures or posts or something that proves they were together.
Her parents texted today and said they took her to the hospital overnight after they had serious anxiety from our conversation. No results yet, but I will keep everyone updated. As for Lily, she hasn't responded to my messages or the messages from our friends, which either means she doesn't have her phone or is too mentally/physically out of it to check. She's usually constantly texting and I wish I could go to see her. Do you have any updates yet? Hi all, I'm back. Life's been crazy and it's been a while since I opened up Reddit, but my friend is okay. She's physically healthy, although still experiencing the same memory problems. To be honest, we haven't been keeping in touch as much since everything blew up. She's a lot more distant, but I'm just glad she's okay.
Do you have a creepy story? Please share it with us in the comments, and we will post it on the channel. Please subscribe. Thank you.